Good evening. Welcome to ShedX Lockdown Legacies episode number 2. I do have to apologise for the messing about earlier. We had some technical difficulties getting Dom connected and up and running. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Dom is going to be here pretty soon. And we'll be able to invite him and get him running. In fact, here he is now. There we go. Hi, Fred. Hi, Josie. Dom. Oh, mate.
Hi, son.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
good. That's better. We can hear you now. There was I was just explaining that earlier when we were trying out, there was a lot of sound problems and video problems.
I was thinking the sound might have been because I had this Apple thing on. I wonder that might have had something to do with it on the back thing on it. But listen, it's all good now anyway.
Yeah, there's no feedback at this side whatsoever.
There we go. Then how lucky are
Excellent,
we?
excellent. So what we'll do is we've logged in a little bit early to give people a chance to come in.
Come on.
And then we'll start in a couple of minutes, if that's all right.
Of course, mate. I'm ready, mate. Ready.
Right. Can you hear me better now? Is that better?
Yeah, mate. It's all cool, mate. It's all cool. Let's turn that light so just there. That's better. Look. So that. Hold on. So. No, you ain't lost me yet, don't we, son?
There we go.
Yeah, that's it. Bit of back there. It's better like that. That's it. Better.
Watch this though. Watch this. Alexa.
Get on then. What we got?
Light down.
Oh, here we go. Pipe down or light
Alexa,
down?
Living room light down.
Takes a lot of notes of you, doesn't it, mate? Oh, here we go. Is that what you call? Is that what you call the old woman?
Well, she calls me worse. I'm telling you that.
I'll bet, mate. I'll bet.
Yeah. Oh dear me. So we've got a few people in.
You've got a couple there, mate. I'll see. My mate Russell, good old fireman now. That's what we
Hi,
like
Russell.
To see.
My personal assistant Josie's on her way home, but she is watching. Okay. My wife is lurking in a corner somewhere as well, watching too. Hi, Jason.
No swearing. No.
Yeah. So we'll just give it a few minutes. We logged in a little bit early just to sort of make sure that we didn't get any sort of technical difficulties, as we did earlier, because it was a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, evening, Russell.
Yes, that's my pal. He owns me breakfast, so I'm onto that one. You ain't getting away with that, Russ. Oh.
Yeah. So right. What time are we on?
You tell me, mate. I don't live my life by a watch.
Yeah, I hate them, to be honest. Oh, we've got about 4 minutes, so we'll give it a couple more minutes. Let a few more people jump in. I know your brother was jumping in. If he's jumped in already. Yeah, Fred.
Yeah, he can pipe down
there
a bit.
he is. Hi, Fred.
Yeah.
11 people. Dum-dum-dum. Yeah, so he's just getting used to this technology, Dom. You know, I only did my first one sort of last night, so.
Yeah. I'm not used to all this technology like anyway.
Still getting used to it.
I'm more hands-on kind of guy.
Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah. We're getting there. I introduced my friend Josie to the Deadliest Men episode.
That's just nice to impress people with, ain't it? So. I'm just a nice kind of guy, just a bit misunderstood. Well, that's all. I was a bit
Yeah,
misunderstood.
I mean, we just thought it was quite amusing watching Danny Dyer look over his shoulder every 2 minutes.
Yeah. He's all right, Danny, actually.
Yeah.
He's a nice bloke. You know, can have a bit of a laugh with him,
Yeah.
so weren't no problems there. Have you got some interesting questions for
Well,
us
I was just
tonight?
going to wing it, but yeah, I've got one or two. We'll try and sort of guide it on. We just, I winged it last night, and it was it went on for about an hour and 20 minutes. So
Well done.
we did all right. We'll just see how we go. But yeah, I've got one or two questions that I'd quite like to ask. If anybody else has got any questions, we should have some time towards the end if people want to ask Dominic anything.
As long as it's nice.
As long as it's nice. I do put a parental guidance in here. One of us
I'm not
may
too
well
worried about
swear.
that, mate. Yeah, well, yeah, I'll do my best on that one.
Yeah. We are past the watershed, I believe, so we should be all right.
I said, thank fuck for that then. Sorry about that, man. So I couldn't help it.
A bit of swearing never hurt anybody.
Well, it all depends who you're swearing at. So.
Oh, yeah. Right, I think.
Thanks, Steve, you slag. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, we've got a few people in here. So we'll give it a start. We've got 10 people in here. We'll give it a start, and we'll just see where it goes from there. So can you tell us, Dom, about take it right back to the start and tell us about little Dom?
Little Dom, yes. Well, yeah, what I say, listen, just an average kid, had good parents. Me and my brother, we were brought up in Woodford, good, good surroundings, nothing, nothing untoward, and hated school. Oh my God, I hated school, but just wanted to get out. And Dad being old fashioned, it was very much, well, you leave school and you got to, get a job. So I left on the Thursday and started in the garage on the Monday, and basically just that. Just started my working life that way, because I was never going to be a professor or a doctor, I'll be honest with you, we had a really good upbringing. We couldn't, no complaints there. Whatever happened in my life later on was solely down to me, because when you hear when people say I put it down to the parents, there's nothing to do with that. We were, my mum and dad were cool, and it's quite hard really. I mean, Dad's been gone. Well, Dad would have been, in fact, Dad was 50 when he had me, and he would have been 100 this month, the 25th. The 25th or the 26th of November, so 25th November would have been 100. He was 50 when he had me. And Dad's been gone, he's going to be on over 16 years now, and Mum's been gone 9 years. And but getting back to life, it was all cool though, you know what I mean? It was a good upbringing. We just sort of left school, went to work, and things are a lot different now. They are today, and there seems to be a lot more peer pressure out there on kids as such. But no, it was cool. Me and my brother were very lucky growing up in that department. We got what we wanted. We didn't have a lot, but we got what we wanted. Well, got what we needed, I should say. And and then it was cool. It was cool. So yeah, I was a good boy when I was growing up. To be honest with you, I wasn't a little shit. I turned into a big shit, but not a little shit.
What about school, mate?
Right, hated school. I was never one for school. I was always say good with my hands, carpentry. Always good with a chisel, or spanner, or an hammer. But again with school was cool. Even though I hated it, certain aspects were cool, like all the like the woodwork stuff. There's only a couple of lessons I ever liked. Then we got to a certain age where I just used to bunk off all the time. I used to end up I used to go home with when my dad was, because it'd be like my dad was very old fashioned. It'd be like, if you're gonna, bunk off at school, they should know where you are. So you end up staying. Me and my mates used to go to my house, so at least my dad could keep an eye on us, and we weren't really getting up to nothing much. But we were never going to go to school, so what was the point? So, but yeah, I couldn't wait to get out of school. And again, things are a little bit different then, weren't it? Where you could leave school, and you can go and get a job, and it ain't like that now, is it? There ain't a lot out there for anybody now, so it's a bit of an hard one, that. So, but it's school was cool, but I just didn't like it. So I just wanted to get out and go to work, which is what I did. So,
did you suffer? So did you suffer from bullying at school?
Yeah. I mean, that's if that's what we're looking at, yeah. I mean, I did. I hate school. I got picked on quite a bit, you know. Yeah, it's like funny the things you try and forget. It's really weird. It's like you bring things back there, don't you? Yeah, I hate school in that department. Where you get picked on every day, and and it just made you. That's why I didn't want to go to school in the end. And it's but the funny thing was, it's just funny when you left school that anybody we sort of like hung about with, we all become equals. You know what I'm saying? When you leave school, you all become the same. There isn't like he was the toughest kid in the school or whatever. That's what I found. Once we went to work, there was no. We're all the same kind of thing, and I seem to I don't know, excel myself more when I left school than I ever did at school. But yeah, I hate it. Like I got bullied quite a bit at school, so that's why I don't really I try and teach my daughter that about the bullying side of things now, and much it can affect people, and but it is what it is, and I'm afraid it's part and parcel of life, ain't it?
So once you left school, how soon was it when you started seeing the naughtier side of life?
Well, no, listen, I started doing door work just after 18. I was nearly 19 when I started doing door work. I started going into the gyms then, and I knew, by the time I was 19, I knew, knew what I wanted to do. He's a bit weird. And then I started, it was at 19, I ended up, a friend of mine called Jim Hutton, we used to call him Mutton, and he got me working with a good bunch of guys for a company called Top Guard. And we, I was at nearly 19 then, and then all of a sudden from 19, my life just changed, just completely changed. I mean, it was, I started doing the door work. Then I started really getting into the boxing. I mean, I was like chinning a few people there, and I go, this interview we're doing today, I'm not trying to thinking about the violence, because that's one thing you'll start with. I don't really think he come away from it so much now since my daughter's been born. But that was, listen, that's I hate to say it, that's why I've got this reputation. And I always remember a good friend of mine, Danny. I remember once I said to me, it took me 30 years to get this reputation. It's going to take me another 30 years to lose it. And he went, yeah, but Dom, you're never going to lose it, because that's who you are now. And so sometimes, going this, I was 18, 19, and things started changing then. Got into the boxing, started boxing on my first time at fight. I was about 20, loved it, and and then it just went full circle from there. So it was, it was just different, and you start to see people differently then as well, and it's like, you can't kid a kidder, and it's a funny old world out there, and it's one thing you'll know about me. I'm quite straightforward kind of guy, putting it bluntly, and it is hard. It is hard, yeah. And it's again, everything stemmed from there. It was going from the door. The boxing took off, and then and then all of a sudden I wanted to turn pro, and did that, and then, but with boxing come everything else. There was always seemed to be like it was quite in hand. Like the violence. I never ever had a problem with the violence. It's a shame, because people. I get a lot of thingy for it now. What they call it. I suffer a lot from it now. It's not our. I was back then. I was just really lost. I was a kid that was lost, and it turned out my biggest strength. Well, my biggest weakness was my strength, and that probably still is a little bit today. Really, I mean, it's like. I was 50 in July. I never thought I'd make the 50. Never made think I'd make the 40 or 30. But so I'm quite gifted there, and it's just weird. Just I'm very lucky. I'm sitting here now, we're having this conversation, and now I was 18 months ago. It was I was stuck in a bit of a hole. I had the new book come out. Oh, look what I've got here. Oh, look. Into the Light by Jamie Boyle. But that came out like a year and a half ago, and by rights we should have been on the crest of a wave. But I just had a few personal problems there, and not my own doing. Again, not my own doing. you know, I've got a lot of things going on, and I'll try and put things right. But you know, we'll see what happens down the road. But then you know, I was training. I had a good little stable of fighters doing well. Spent a lot of time in Spain. You know, going over there. You know, I'm not going to go too much in that because that's yesterday. That's done. I've gone full circle now, and it's like, but I put so much energy and time into other people. That's been my problem all my life. And you know, then you look back to see who's there when the shit's the fan, and you know, I've been really gifted. I've been very gifted who my friends are. You know, I've had, you know, I will mention quickly in case of an old fighter, an opponent of mine called Kevin Mitchell. I was having this really bad time again. It was a couple of Aprils ago, not last April, the April before. And I was just, you know, I felt like I've just had enough. Just saying, I just found something out, and I did not, you know, I was in pain. I was in a lot of pain, and all of a sudden, this text come through. I do not know why. I mean, me and Kevin, we boxed twice in the pros. He beat me once. I beat him a second time, and then the unlicensed we boxed, and I beat him. He beat him the third time, and then so you had the Outlaw, which is Kevin Mitchell, and you had the Milky Bar Kid, and all of a sudden out of the blue, he sent me this text, and do you know what? In a way, it was, I don't know. It was just amazing how he came out of the blue, and we text. In fact, we text each other at least once a week. He's got lovely family. He always asks about Bella, you know, and it was just funny who the friends were when I needed them, you know. And this Kevin Mitchell come out of nowhere, and I'm truly blessed to call him a friend. I mean, we're gonna have this conversation. There's lots of good friends. I mean, you know, I think I'm taking over a little bit here
That's
already,
fine, mate.
mate. But I did tell you, mate. Once I start, I won't stop. You know, I'm gifted. I mean, I look back now. There was people I thought were my friends. I'm not going to again, not going into too much. So I remember banging on the door, knocking on someone's door, and perhaps I didn't realise I was in such a bad place. But I went there looking for help, and I didn't even they didn't even open the door. I remember leaving a couple of messages on the phone, and I never do that. And I said, I really need to talk to you, you know, and I got blanked, and I'll never forget it now. And it's like, but from there, it just made me a stronger person because I can look back. I'm gifted. I've got a friend, and I will say, man, you know, if you ever get to know these have been there, and I'm lucky. I've got my friend Emery, I've got my friend B. They're both Bella's godfathers, you know, and they stuck by me through thick and thin. They really have. You know, I've got, you know, this isn't like the name dropping kind of show. I mean, there's friends out. I'm gonna, you know, there's loads of people out there. I've got my mate Mike Jackson and his good lady. You know, they've always helped me out, and just silly things like the phone calls. Joe Long, Paul Alderson. Now, if I don't mention everyone, they're going to get me up. But it's my mate Tank. You know, silly texts that really they don't realise they saved my life on the way up. Because when I've been, you know, people see me and they say, "Oh, look at Dom. He's a good man. Like, look at him. He's you know, nothing upsets him. Listen, I've got an heart, you know what I mean? I've been in places I couldn't tell you, you know. And listen, I'm not saying I'm through things yet, and I don't want to go too much about addictions, but because we both know that, listen, you know, I had a problem a little bit with, if I'm being honest with you, it's about like the drink, because, you know, when I was boxing, everything was boxing, you know. So then also when I come out of it and I stopped it, it was like all of a sudden I've got nothing to do. And it's like all of a sudden you start realising, oh yeah, I don't mind having a little drink now and again. And then it gets with me. See, what makes me a bad drinker? I'm a private drinker. See, I won't go out. If I go out, I can drink. Like, I do drink, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather have a sparkling water, and then I'm all right. But then if I go indoors, I can do a bottle of vodka, bang like that, boom, it's gone. And that's why I don't like being a private drinker. Is no good for you, because I think that takes you down that slippery road there, and that's when all the demons start placing. I've got some terrible demons, and it's I don't know. It's just weird. Again, by self admission, and again putting myself in a good place, being around good people, is saved me person than I used to be. I mean, it's like, you know, this out there. So we're going to talk a little bit about certain things in this, like, because everyone wants to know, don't they? Everyone wants to, oh, I knocked him out, or I did this and I did that. But that's not the person I am anymore. Don't get me wrong, it's still there. And if you push the right buttons, yes, it will come out. And occasionally it does, it shows its ugly head occasionally. But then I've got it quite on lockdown now, and that's mostly through having my daughter, which she made me such a better man.
Yeah.
I realise now for every action comes a
Mm.
reaction, and me, yeah, I ain't going to prison. I don't want to go to prison, and that was this by rights. I should be dead or in prison by now, and I've got no problems. Obviously, I had a bit of an altercation in the gym. Was that 15, 16 years ago with something? Everyone knows he's like a bit of an urban myth or legend or what you want. I always said it. I always said I deserved it. Whatever it's about doesn't matter. Nobody doesn't matter, does it? But I deserved it. You can't do the things I was doing to people, and not to expect to get reaction. And I become a bit of an arsehole to people. So I do look back. I become someone I quite despise. I become a bit of a
Mm.
bully. I could go in places, wouldn't push me weight around, didn't do this, didn't do that if I don't like it. I could go to a nightclub with a pair of trainers on and a t-shirt on or whatever, and they wouldn't stop us. And I'm not, so when I did have my little bit of a comeuppance, you'll always hear me say, I deserved it, and then people go, I don't, how can you say that? I said, I did, again, because, I've become very lost from my true self. It's like I was living a lie
Mm.
kind of thing. It's like, I learned this. Right, we're going to go back then. So when we start getting involved in doing debts and things like that, and then so there'd be times when you'd have to go out and do things I didn't really want to do, and that the more I got involved, the more I come away from my true self. There'd be and it's quite easy to get lost in that world because it's so full of false people, egos and pride. They're the two biggest killers out there, and it's look at the stuff that's going on out there now. Like people get stabbed every day, and kids are killing kids. It's a mad world. I've got a 16-year-old daughter that I worry every night what she gets up. Not she gets up to, but I say to her, it's not you. It's never you. Well, it's not never you, but I'm not worried about you as per se, but I'm worried about people around you. And I'm afraid it's the world we're living in, and I can't
Mm.
see it getting any better either at the moment. So, it's hard when I've got this treasure that I just want to wrap up in cotton wool, and I don't want no one touching her. But listen, I know we're somewhere along the line, some arsehole's going to come along and upset her, and and it's funny when one fella come along, it was like you start realising, and you start with perhaps for me, perhaps when I was in the relationships with people and whatever, perhaps I look back now, perhaps I was wrong because I wouldn't like perhaps someone to do to my daughter what I did to them. You know what I mean? There's growing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like it's not like Bella says to me. Um, Bella says to me, well, what if I come back and with my boyfriend? I said, listen, don't upset me. I've just had my dinner. No, no. So, no, I said, listen, if you can find someone that is going to love you half as much as I will and do half as much as I can for you, then you're on a winner. You're on a winner. And it's just hard. It's like, going this, I mean, I've started work. Well, we've been in a year now. My friend gave me a job, which was lovely. And again, he wouldn't have employed me there 15 years ago. I work in a hostel, and I'm the concierge, security concierge. We call ourselves concierges. And it's so humbling to be there because one of these people come to me and they're vexing out and they've got the and they're telling me, you don't know what it's like to do. You don't know what's. And I'm going, are you having a laugh, mate? You can't tell me what it's like. I know what it's like to sleep on a park bench. I know what it's like to half get caught around drugs, drink, being homeless for a while. I mean, I slept on the gym floor for a year and a half, just because I was just trying to do the right thing in another situation. But again, all that mate. That was no one else's fault. But it I don't know. It's just hard, isn't it? I mean, this to me talking to you now, Jack, is a bit like confession time, isn't it? It's like I'm diluting the situation because as much as I've got older and wiser, it's still there. I mean, it burns up every day. Someone can upset me every day, and I mean, people think you go up and back in the day, it was like someone say something, boom, shoot, boom, that's it. you'd all laugh and joke, "Oh, that Dominic, oh, he's right, oh, these are," but it'd take me days to get over it. It would really affect me. Like even now, if I have a row with someone, it can really affect me. It can take me a couple of days to get it out of my system because it ain't. Don't that's what I'm saying. It's still there. Oh my God, it's still there, and it's and it doesn't take a lot for me to kick in. But what it is, it's I don't know. It's just it's a bit weird sometimes. We try and I don't know. We try and portray ourselves differently. The only thing I try and do, I try and treat people the way I want to be treated, right? And I always try and give people the benefit of the doubt because I've had it where people come up to me and go, "Oh, I didn't think you were like this. I thought you." I said, "But you don't know me. People don't know me, And it's I suppose I don't really know myself sometimes because I'm still finding out about myself every day. Every day it's just like it's just really weird. It's this I've got this. Listen, it is like again when the book came out, the last book, because obviously the other book come out of the shadows. All this, but this the new one into the light. No, but when the last book came out, we should have been flying. Jamie put a lot of time and effort into us. We've got this going on, that going on, this show to go on, that show to go on, and and don't get me wrong, as I know the book did all right anyway, and that was without me even being honest, getting off my arse and doing anything, because when I just hit this place, I don't know if you've heard it, I just turned the phones off, wanted to stay in bed. I come away from all the boxing. I mean, I was running the gym. I mean, my good friend Ian, listen, you can't meet a nicer bloke than Ian Wilson, and he still runs the gym at Sparta 300 in Chinkford. Obviously we shut down at the moment, but it was, I've become really lost, and it was only down to the fact a good friend of mine called Butchie Goldhawk. He said, "Come on, Don, come to work with me." He said, "Come." He's a roofer, good top-notch roofer. I think they call them first fit or second fix roofers. I said, "All right, look, I'll do it." I didn't want to do it, and so I'm the only roofer there. I'm terrified of heights. You get honest, I'm like an old woman. You want to see me climbing up a ladder? I might jumping off of one, but climbing up one, But then we end up hooking up with his friends, Eric and was it Jason? Jay, yeah, Jay. And they got a thing. This ain't advertising, but they got a company called Grand Loft Designs. And I worked for them for nearly 8 months, all between us. And they really got me through it because there's times where I just wanted to stay in bed every day. I didn't want to get out of bed. All these things playing on my head, and all of a sudden, but every day, as much as it hurt, and I wouldn't say it was getting easier, but I thought I was getting a little bit stronger every day. Every day I was going forward, every day, just to get through it. I don't know if you, talking that term about going to meetings and stuff. When you go like AA meetings or NA meetings, it's just for today. Let's get through today, because because tomorrow's has already got its problems waiting for you out there. And again, I was really lucky. The friends I'd around me, they were so positive. It's like I've got a pal of mine called, a really, really close friend of mine called Mickey Theo. He's got a lot of stuff going on out there with certain heavyweights, dead, with this John Fury thing. But couldn't meet a nicer guy. And they'd phone up, "You all right, Dom? Everything's good?" And I said, "Yeah." And we powered through it. And it was like, and I go, my mate Bobby Wilcox, and they were just so good. They were so supportive. But then you look back and you think, like, I was 48 then, and you think you should have your shit together by then, but you can't, do you? And then I start realising, as a man, we grew up in a different generation where you ain't supposed to be upset. We're men, you know what I mean? We're like, "Oh, you can't cry." You know what I mean? It's like, I miss my mum. I miss my mum terribly. If my mum was alive now, I'd probably be out in Italy with her. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're white, William, there, mate. Tomorrow, as I said, we live for today, just for today. And it is hard. It is hard, but you think, because everyone's got a different outlook on you. They're looking at you like, they think, again, keep saying this tough man. Yeah, okay, listen, so what? I could have a fight. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm only 50 years old. There's kids out there, 14 years old, just stab you. Wouldn't even look twice at you now, would they? And again, it's just different. It was like, just everything sort of like for years has spiraled out of control. And without being rude, though, it was my own doing. you know, because again, bullied at school, I got this reputation and I liked it because people feared me in a way. I don't, well, perhaps didn't even say feared me. I could walk in a pub. I could walk in a pub and people would look at me and go, "Oh, easy, you know, oh, Negus is in," and they'd all quiet down. But then when I've got my in it, but to your face, I go, "Oh, Dom, you're a good man. We like you. Oh, Negus, we're gonna get him a drink. Get him a drink. You're good stuff." And I go, "Yeah, okay." But obviously, when I had my little bit of a, you know, bit of a taster. They were going behind my back. He deserved that. He deserved that. Yeah, but again, not a problem. Not a problem because, you know, the people that were saying it, they, you know, they'd say it behind your back, wouldn't they? Because I never had the bollocks to say it to my face today. So, but it was, you know, it was a funny old time. And it's, I don't know. I don't know. So I feel like a butterfly far from it because I don't know. I must be the ugliest butterfly out there. But I just feel like for years I was in this chrysalis for about 20 years, and even now, since my daughter's come along, I'm still coming out of this chrysalis because there's different things out there for me now.
Yeah.
It's like, again, you know, when I was training the boys, I mean, we were lucky. We had a couple of good fighters, and they would do really well. And just, you know, I was running fight, say like trainers, do it my way, because if you muck it up, then you can always blame me. You do it your way, and in the end, they did it their way. They mucked it up. I stepped away. And with me, it was never about the money with the boxing because I was earning good money. There was a couple of, again, I'm not going to go into all that, you know, but it was like the fact is now I work hard now. Again, I'm very lucky. You know, I've got a lovely place out in the country. I've got my nut down, you know, and it's, you know, I've got my lovely daughter. I'm friends, you know, with my, you know, really close friends with my daughter's mum, which is, listen, she, you know, she's probably one of the only people I really do trust. You know, there's a couple out there. You know, I'm gifted like that. Okay, and it's this loyalty thing's paid off dividends. Again, you know, one thing is that I watching my friend Emery and Bryn. Without them, I wouldn't be here today because they see something in me that I couldn't see. And the loyalty thing, again, it's, you know, I feel gifted there, and it's they're my family. They're the ones that stuck, but they're the ones that really stuck by me when the shit did it the fan. You know, they were there for me, and it's, I'll never forget that. And I'm very appreciate everything. I'll never take my friendship with my friends for granted because, you know, one thing you'll know about me, and I think you've probably already done, I'm probably the loyalest person you'll ever meet. You know, there's loyalty, like, it's done a lot of that about
No,
anymore.
there isn't.
So, anyway, back over to you, Jack, after your first question.
What I want to just make people aware, for people that might not know about the event, about what happened to you. If we could just go a bit more into that, and the action.
What's that? What listen, I walked in the gym one night, getting changed. 3 geezers come in, axe, bat, and a gun. One decided to try and give me a decent haircut in the back of the nut. Ended up getting 70 odd stitches, a fractured skull, bit of an headache. Again, it was like, listen, I upset the wrong people, got a bit big for my boots, and I paid the price. And again, you know, deserved, yeah, deserved. You know, right? We don't know what it was about or whatever. You know, that's done. It's, you know, that's like 17 years ago. It's 17 years ago, and I remember it once. Don't get me wrong, I get out of the tree sometimes, and I was standing and I think, hold on, this could happen again. Don't get me wrong, you realise as you get older, there's certain things are worth it. Like my daughter, now we're talking. I don't give a fuck. Anybody goes near my daughter, I'll die for my girl because she's made me this person I am today. She's made me a person. I can walk into places where I used to go, and people are actually pleased to see me because, you know, she's brought this completely different persona out in me. Listen, what I want to do, I just want to be loved, and that's all I want. I just want to be wanted. I want to feel like I'm part of something. See, it's hard sometimes when I'm on my own. I've been on my own for the last few years, and it's hard because, so when I'm with Bella, I'm fantastic. When I'm not with her, I'm probably the loneliest bloke you'll ever meet. That's why, you know, you again, you have to put yourselves in the right places with the right people. But again, yeah, listen, it's just upset. What was it? I can't remember. Was it it was a Tuesday night? Still, I can still remember certain things, and yeah, I come in and they got the better of me a little bit, and I jumped up and got the ump. And but listen, I'm just saying it's that's then it. But I have to remember it sometimes when I get out my tree. I still jump out my pram. Someone chuck my toys out
I
the
do.
pram, and you have to think: is it? Yeah, but is it worth it? Is it worth it? Because I know what but also I know what I've done to other people when I've got the ump, and I also know what it's like to have it done to myself. And it's like if you're willing to, put up with that, then that's all well and good.
Mm.
But then sometimes it isn't. It isn't really how life should be, is it? I mean, it's like my dad was the straightest geezer you'd ever met. Worked on the Times for 37 years. Never ever once had problems with the police. He'd done his time. He went to work and he paid the bills. And it was, I think that's how dad should be, shouldn't it? It's hard being a father to my daughter
Mm-hmm.
sometimes because one thing I always tell Bella, one thing I always tell her the
Yeah.
truth. She asks me questions sometimes. She ain't silly. She hears things, and obviously books come out. And when they write books, she read some of the book. Dad, did you take drugs? And I said, yeah, um, but you try and guide them, don't you? All I'm just trying to do is guide my daughter. It's like you can't. I'm not going to sit there and tell my daughter like, no, I never done this, or I never done that, I never, And it's nice to, what I'm just saying. It's not when I'm with her, she's not my best mate. She's not my best mate, and it's. She's a cool kid, and considering she's come from two nutters, because my woman's probably just as mad as I was. That's where the clash was. It's all about being honest with
Mm.
each other. And if we look at, and I'm perhaps I'm too honest, but we're just so alike. And all of a sudden we've got this beautiful, beautiful girl. As I know, the picture doesn't do her much justice in the picture there. But if I've actually got the picture, and it's quite realistic, mind you, look at me. It looks like I've just done a bank robbery and I've got a stocking on my head. So, it looks a bit like you. Look at that, Well, don't. But yeah, I mean, she gets embarrassed so much because she comes everywhere with me. If I can't, I mean, she's 16 now, but if I can't take her somewhere or something, then we don't
Same
go.
here.
And that's that. And it's, yeah, I mean, I couldn't ask for a better kid. She's got great manners. She, thank God she's looking like she's got her mum's looks. I mean, bloody hell, I've got a face mate with the radio, ain't I? You know what I mean? When I said when I was a baby, they go down the road and they go, "God, that's a lovely pram you got there." Oh, I don't know. But it's all cool. It's all cool. We're, going from where I'm coming. So what you'll notice with me when we start talking about things, from one story go 10 others. All like it's like trees. But it's like again from where I was 18 months ago to now, and a lot of it's down to my
Mm.
daughter. She pulled us through, even though she didn't see that
Yeah.
side of things. She's, I'm very grateful to have her in my life. So, and it's like funny as you get older. Somebody said it's about mellowing out with age. He said, yeah, I've mellowed out. Don't get me wrong. Certain things fire me up, but I just again realise that for every situation, keep saying every action comes a reaction, and do I want the reaction? So it's got to be worth it. So, but it's it is what it is though, Jack. So it's we were talking the other day about you found out one who your real fighter, like your
Mm.
friends are out there. When they tell you things, oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll help you with this on. And then when you phone them up, say, "Oh, do me a favour. Could you help me out for a couple of weeks or do it?" And they go, "Oh, do you know what? The amount of times I've had it, again, he goes with that same amount of times." And everybody just looks at you. I still get phone calls now. I might not have heard from someone for ages. And the first thing they phone up goes, "Oh, so and so, I'll help me out." I go, "No, mate, don't want to do with me anymore." Because also I know with me, it only takes one thing and then bang, I'm back in the middle of everything. And it's not where I want to be anymore, It's like I want to go to sleep and not have to worry, well, who's knocking at my door?
Exactly.
But no one's got to knock at my door,
Exactly.
unless you're the milkman. So milkman coming for your money. So
The milkman even exist anymore.
no, not really, not really. We don't. We have gold top, mate. We're flash. No, I wish I was. My neighbour does because I
Yeah,
nick
he
his
used to nick
milk.
the
So.
red top.
Yeah, but well, I don't have that red top
So
like. But no, nothing. But
I
go
was just gonna try and round back off a bit. That so you were you'd left school and you got into work. You were boxing and doing the crime at the same time. Is that right? Like
Yeah, a little bit, because
enforcing and stuff like that.
what they call it, enforcing, yeah, whatever. I mean, listen, there's probably a lot of other tougher people than me out there, maybe. But no, but it was, but once you start doing the door work with the boxing, it also like coming hand in hand. It's like, well, someone knows someone, or do you know someone, or and it was all like that. It was all kind of word of mouth, and then before you know it, I mean, yeah, it was a funny old life, to be honest with you. Like that, I mean, it's like, I don't know what you want to say about it. I mean, it's, my daughter once said, "Do you regret some of the things you've done?" I said, "Well, yeah, of course I do, of course I do." But then again, if I didn't do the things I've done, you wouldn't be here today, would you? So we have to, you have to take the rough with the smooth sometimes. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I was a car sprayer. I was a car sprayer by trade, and I still love cars, and I like painting cars, and you know, perhaps I should have stayed at that. I mean, but then with the boxing, I should have concentrated on that. And I took what I did. I'm very lucky. I've got, again, like people like Steve Bunce, Colin Hart. I know them. I've been in, you got to remember, I've been doing the security of boxing since I was 1989. One of the biggest shows I think I started working on was when George Foreman come over in boxed Terry Anderson at the London Arena. I think that was the first show I did, and I've been in the boxing ever since. So when I when I walked away from boxing, as per se, like 18 months ago, when I finished with the boys as such, training them, it was hard for me really, because that's all I'd ever known. That's all everything to do was with boxing for years. Been in the gym since I was 20. You work it out, and I basically then 20. That's 28 years, from 20 to 48. It's 28 years. It's all I've ever done. Like being a personal trainer, like training pro fighters. We had a stint in Spain for nearly 2 years, 18 months. That was great. I had some boys. We were lucky when we went away. Like we had a kid box in Spain. He got to win. We had Sanjay Sahota, a good kid, still pals to this day. He's out in Spain. We went to New Delhi, first time they had boxing in New Delhi. We got to win out there. And it was like, so I've been quite fortunate with the boxing. I've been, I wouldn't say all around the world, but I've been, I've known enough people. So it's, I don't know, it's just, it's quite, what do I call it? Again, humbling that, all the people I know now, most of my close friends are all to do with boxing, and it's, because, I was a big thing about a lot, like Ricky Hatton again, things like that. All the people, I remember walking them into the ring, and then from then we all become friends. It's like, again, it's mentioned before, Mike Jackson, what a great smashing fellow he is, him and his wife, brilliant. And they seem to be friends for life, because they phone you to see how you are, not for what you can do, because I can't do nothing for them. What can I do for them? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not about to take the dog for a walk or clean the car, but you know what I mean, it's not like, but it's they're my real friends, and it's a lot of my friends are the people I've been around, have been here since, for the last 20, 25 years. In fact, my circle is still very, very small now. It's a really small circle now, but they're still friends. Again, Henry, my mate Henry, I've known him I was 24, so it's 26 years. My mate B, I've known him 25 years. And again, these are the people I call them. They're my family, and they're the ones that, again, they're Bella's godfathers. So in that department, I'm truly blessed, ain't I? So I mean, it's like you talk about strengths. People say, "Oh, you're strong, you're strong." I've got a friend of mine, Lyle, Ginger Lyle. His little boy Connor. He quite sad, really. But he when he was born, I think, with bits and bobs on the outside. You know what I mean? So this little kid, he went to hospital, like he was in, what's it called? What's the kiddies hospital in London? I can't remember
Chelsea?
it now. It's a really famous kids hospital. No, I can't remember the bloody name. Go on. You know what I mean? But something like that. Something. Oh, it come in, and I see this little boy. He just put up with all this stuff growing up, and he's only, I think he's about 2 or 3 now. and you see him now. And that to me, that's strength. That it puts, you could be in a ring sparring people, knocking people out, but you see this little kid, big bundle of joy, bundle of mischief, and that to me, I've got to look at that. That's the kind of things that make me in awe. Do you know what I'm saying? That's, they don't care what 50-year-old, I'm still knocking people out. Was that any good? But you get a little kid that he don't know what he ain't done no harm to no one, has he? And this little kid is just a little fireball. I haven't seen him for, and they come to my birthday party, and it's just this little kid is just laughing and joking, and you think, bloody hell, it's Great Ormond Street there. That's a nice one, Freddie. You got that one in here, mate. You need to good with something, you mug. But that was my brother, by the way. So, but yeah, it's all cool. It's all cool. So, but
So,
anyway, come next one. Come on.
So your professional boxing, 2002. You're in a fight with Audley Harrison.
Am I?
Yeah.
A little bit.
What was going through your mind?
Knock his teeth out, but listen, he just that. Can I be honest? That's one of the things I regret a little bit, because that's probably one of the only things. Or there's another thing, but I'd like to not put right, but I'd love to sit down with him and have a cup of coffee or something like that. Because that was, listen, it was a great night for me, even though I lost. I think I got so much publicity out of it. On about doing this and doing that, and with us, and it was like, again, I was too involved with other things. But listen, I truly thought I could beat him. But I didn't realise how big he was. Oh my God, that's a big guy, you know what I mean? And also, like, people, it makes me laugh. It's like when people go, "Oh, all the Harrison, he's rubbish. I'd knock him out." No, these people ain't even had a fight. And then I go, "Yeah, all right, mate, go and have your Weetabix." That's just idiots. The people that talk shit, because you don't get a gold medal in the Olympics for nothing, And what I found with him, he was very quick. He had really quick hands for a big, and I've got quick hands. And then, and his footwork was great. His foot, and I'll never box that many southpaws. And normally, if I did, I could back you to the ropes and just go to work. But he was more skilled. Also, I just remember I went through the second round. That's when he hit me with a lovely shot. He was like the T-foul advert. I've gone like on the front shot. My head just went backwards like a bong. And I can remember looking at the lights. And bloody hell, like, and also I was like, and I remember the next day we went down the pub. And my mate said, "Where did he got these sunglasses for us? Put them as a present." I put them on they only went halfway down because my nose was so swollen. It was like, honestly, these glasses only went there like that. But yeah, going with the old Harrison thing, it was like, you got to watch the fight, and this, he half shoves me through the ropes. If you watch, I throw a right hand. I can still watch it. I don't really watch the fights anymore. I was getting tired. Because I was carrying that bit of extra weight, and that's through other things again. So I throw the right hander, he half parries it. If you watch it, he's half parrying. I was all right because I was a bit tired, because I sort of like go over. It wasn't hurt, because if you watch, he takes back 2 steps that way, then walks back and hits me as hard as he can. Because if I was hurt, I wouldn't be getting up from that, would I? But that showed, without no disrespect to her, he weren't really a puncher anyway. He's, for a big guy, you're going to be able to whack a bit, but. Yeah, it threw me. It threw me off. It threw me off a little bit, and that's when also he hits me. And as I get back up, he sort of like laughed, and that's when I nuts back the gums, and that's if you know. Other than me nose, I think it was a bruise on me head. That's why I knocked him on the chin, and it just went a bit funny. And listen, the referee was great that night, because he could have disqualified me, but I think he realised there would have been an utter riot. There were, the amount of police that were there. I sold so many tickets, it was unbelievable. But again, listen, all the way, very thinking the Batman won on the night. He was, very skillful, and at least I can say I got him with an Olympic champion. But what you don't realise is that me and my dad wasn't well then, but he was all right. They brought him down in a wheelchair, and we went to see him afterwards. And I remember Phil Torrance, his trainer, great American trainer, and then we knocked on the door, so we're going now. Can we, say, look, the fight's over. It's over. I don't care. Go down, have a beer or whatever. People drink champagne, old Champagne Charlie. Me, I was quite happy having a pint of Peroni. But so we knocked on the door, and we said, "I'm going to go and try to see the champ." And went, "No, they don't talk to you." And I had my dad down in the wheelchair, because my dad make the Olympic champion, didn't I? And he was like, just mugged us off, and I'll never forget that. But Does he realise? No, not really. Does he care? Probably doesn't give a toss, does he? But I mean, that's always stayed with me. That's one of the things I'd like to say. Why'd you do that? He was done. It was just, you know what it was. I showed people how to beat him. Two, I'd give him a harder time than he thought. For he just, that did upset me a little bit. But then, listen, and that was, that was basically the end of my pro boxing career. Because if we're being honest, and yeah, I tested positive for steroids apparently. So I don't know what that's about. It must have been in my milkshake or something, But
Supplements.
anyway, then yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. No, but but listen again. I got suspended. Me being as militant as I was, I went. My friend said, "Look, let's go down to Wales. Let's go and front this out. You pay your price." And I was wrong. If you in the first book, I've even one of the chapters is called cheat because even if I did win the fight, I would have cheated. It would never felt good. And then it was like I don't know, just everything changed. Then from then it's sort of like when I went on, then I went on the unlicensed, and that was great for me. I mean, it's not because you have all these. Don't get me wrong, there's a good few fighters, some good lads on there. There's Mark Potter. When he finished his pro career, he come onto there. There's some good fighters on the, I mean, I was very lucky. I was very, very close. I got some good friends like Stacey Dunn. He was a good pro. We were supposed to fight, but it never happened. But I'm glad it didn't because we were pals. I got a really, really close friend, my mate Jason Guyver. I don't see him very often, but he's one of, that's when you're proper friends. You don't have to see each other very often, but Jason does well. He's getting involved. We've got a nightclub opening up, so called the Playhouse. Used to be the 195 with Scott Cummings. Be opening soon. We'll be there, mate. We'll be there to support you, Jace. Yeah, but again, it's a really weird kind of world because the boxing fraternity, if you're a liar, you get found out. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's one thing about me. I don't have to lie. Not there. I mean, not saying. I was fortunate enough. I sparred with loads of world champions and things like that. And all I did was, if I'm being honest with you, who was it? Was it Buncey said it, or was it Colin Hart? I took my eye off the prize, and I was getting too involved in other stuff, and it's, and again, that's why I got my arse smacked in it, I mean, I should have been, I should have been concentrating on the boxing because if I did, we had the big house, the cars, and stuff like that. But in fact, I've had to go. In some ways, again, it's something because I've gone back to work. I work really hard now. I work 2 jobs, which is great. And I get paid good money, and it's good for me. I mean, it's very good for me. So it's we used to do all the security all around the world with all the boys from Man Security. We had some laughs. We've done all them festivals, FIFA, every festival. It's funny, and it's not being disrespectful to anybody, and please don't. It's when you see the boys that when they're coming out, like they're bringing fighters out and all on the telly, like, look at me. We were doing that. I was doing that job 1989, no, 1990. It's old hat, you know what I mean? It's like, and I think some people forget that when they're bringing these fighters out, you should always be as a security man, you're the man behind the man. That's the man walking. That's always when I'm saying it to people. They go, oh yeah, I'll walk you out to the ring. I said, yeah, but you're the man behind the man. And I was fortunate enough to be both sides. Do you know what I'm saying? I was the security, and I was actually the man that was walking into the ring. And it's, it ain't a bad feeling, to be honest with you. Especially, I mean, again, Wembley Arena, when it was quite cool. We that place was sold out. And I always remember my trainer. We stood there, we walked out, and the place went mad. And my trainer went, Dom, they're all for you. And I stood up, went like that, and the place went mental. Honestly, it was like so mad. I've never seen nothing. I've never had nothing like that before or after. So really, I was quite, I was a bit. I disappointed myself with the boxing because there was so much more I should have done. But it was down to me. But then it's, that's the price I have to pay for that every day. That one, basically, it's cool. It's cool. So, but we live and we learn.
We do. I think that I mean, like you were saying earlier on about your daughter being sort of that karma. When I had my daughter, that was it for me as well. She was my little crutch, my little mate.
Yeah.
So I can really sort of feel that empathy there because my daughter's 13, and I'd die for her. I know that, but
And exactly. But that's what it's all about. It just makes, I think, just makes you appreciate life more, doesn't it? It's like, you know, I've done some, I've done some mad things, crazy things, things that you probably wouldn't even bother about. Well, when you say to people, you try and explain to them certain things, and they go, "Well, I've never lived your life." Well, some people don't even want to know about your life. They're too busy to. But I've done, I've been quite lucky. I've been all around the world. You know, I've done things I wouldn't even talk about anymore. But it's like, and I look back, I thought, well, at least when I say to my daughter, when I die, you won't be able to call me boring. I mean, that's in my life. That's why I just try and say to my daughter, you can go and do whatever you want to do. If you was it that Will Smith film, was it called In the Search of Happiness or something like that? When he says to his son, you can do whatever you want to do, even if I tell you can't do it. You can, you put your mind to it. Got to give these things, and I say to my daughter now, we're talking about leaving school, and all I worry about is I wanted to earn a decent money, good job, things like that. And the way I look at it is like, well, I'm 50 now, she's 16. Another say by the time she's 32 and I'm 66, and if I go by then and she set herself up, then I'll be happy as long as she knows what she's doing by then. That's all I can ever. All I want Bella ever do is have a happy life. I don't listen. She ain't gonna go through the shit I've gone through because she ain't gonna be involved with the things I was involved in. But then also I want to not to worry about nothing. It's like the amount of shit I worry about now that ain't even you people. Well, what do you worry about that for? That's nothing. And it's so true. It's so true. The amount of time I waste worrying about things that ain't even. Well, I blame her, to be honest with you. I said, because before you come along, I was so selfish because I didn't give a toss about no one. So now all of a sudden, I worry about, like phone bills being paid, this being paid, that being paid. And it's normally always down to money line that you worry about things. But, it is what it is. And so, but every day, you just got to try and listen. What I say today, you've got to enjoy today because tomorrow's not, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, do we? So, but, it's been a good, so far it's been all right. I still have my ups and downs, but it's a lot better than it used to be. So, what we can say to that.
So, what's your biggest regret?
Well, probably my biggest regret really is not as such. It's probably not concentrating or, with the boxing as such. I mean, it was like I just used to love the fighting, and I just had to be very bloody good at it, I mean, I was into everything, any contact sport. I used to love it. And it was like just at the end, like some of the Augie Harrison fight come up, and obviously getting the ban, and I mean, I'm not just saying this, and people don't take it the wrong way. And the few fights I lost, I'm not just saying that I lost because I wasn't focused enough. There's other things. I could come in one night and I'll be training. I used to love training. Everything was about training, tickets, weight, date, who am I fighting? That's all it was. You'd see me when I had the fight. I'd have a carton of rice with me all the time, eating that, watching my weight, selling tickets, and then sort of like then I got involved with other things, and all of a sudden I was coming back home late, doing this, doing that, then I was doing the nightclubs, working at the nightclubs, and then obviously other things happen at nightclubs, there was girls and not such with the booze and the drugs, because when I was pro, I didn't. I was so teetotal. I could go. I still love going out with my mates, but they'd be doing whatever, and I'd still, I'd be quiet in the corner with Red Bull, But it was, but then there was times I should have been more focused on certain things, and I wasn't. I was too busy trying to get this reputation, and I'm afraid, I got it, didn't I? So, did I get it? So, yeah, that's my one regret. I should have just focused on what I was really good at. But then again, if things didn't happen the way they did, then perhaps I wouldn't be here now, would I? So we've got to take, certain things, things happen for reasons, don't they?
Yeah.
So, but
yeah.
It is what it is.
I've noticed there's a bit of feedback.
Mate, again.
I think these pods have gone dead now. So I don't think they're working now, mate.
All right.
I'll try plugging mine in.
Right, is that any better?
Mate, can you hear me all
Yeah, I can hear you, but I'm getting
Yeah, I can hear you, but I'm still getting a bit of feedback. It's just something we're going to have to put up with.
Here's what it is, mate.
Yeah, so we
Yeah, so we
crack on.
I think we'll just crack
I do
on.
apologise to all
I do
people that are
apologise
watching.
to the people that are watching.
Don't know what's happened.
Don't know what's happened.
So what's next for you, mate?
So what's next for you, mate?
Well, we're looking to relaunch the book again. Like, obviously, well, not so much relaunch the book, but into the light, because
We seem to have frozen there. What I'll do is I'll give it a couple of seconds and then try and get Dom back. And it seems to have lost connection. So I do apologise for that. We'll do our best to get him back. And then we'll see about inviting him back in again. And there we go. There we go, mate.
Oh, there we go. You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You froze for a bit.
Yeah. But no, just saying it's like what's next for me is because it's like really weird. You texted me saying about doing this cast thing, because I haven't done an interview for about a year and a half, and then since getting off the phone here, I've spoke to Coogan. We're going to do the same with them. Obviously, Jamie Ball's getting us involved. He's got, I can't remember the fella's name, Atwell, I think his name was. There's a couple of other names, some English. Sorry, not being rude, I just remember the surname, that's all. And it's like, we're going to try and get back on the pedestal a little bit there and hopefully pick a bit of momentum up and look at it. It's my fault, no one else's fault. I just had a lot of things like jump up on me, and I did a typical emu situation when I stuck my head in the sand, and I didn't want to know. It was like, like basically piss off and leave me alone, basically. Like, I think we all do that sometimes, don't we?
I think when you've got a strong mind, it's difficult to quiet it sometimes, and we get stubborn.
Yeah, no, I get stubborn to the point where stubborn like is silly because it's doing no good for anybody, and I've family as well. It's like obviously so, most people argument like they might go and stay around their friend's house for and that'd be it. So we have to come back and start again, don't we? And that's the stubbornness for you, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Sorry, this is playing up a little bit. We're going to try and push it way through it. So, is there another book in the pipeline then, or?
I speak to Jamie, but what I'd love to do a book where I get other people's opinions about me. Not always good, don't have to be good, not saying that, but being honest opinions. Like, I remember, like they're not all war stories, you know what I mean? It's like, that's what if you notice, that's why I'll try to keep off the violence tonight, because there's a little bit more to me than violence. I'll tell you a million stories about me going in the bar, I knocked that geezer out, yeah, knocked him out, he looks at me, son, I knocked him out. There's a little bit, I know people probably get bored with it, but it's like, yeah, if you're bored with it, buy the book. There's plenty of violence in there, but it's, yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to do a book, I'll speak to my daughter about it, like just me and her do it. We go around and get some stories off of other people, where they think, and, what they think, and then the stories they've got about me, and good or bad, because, there's obviously, I remember we were training someone for a fight, and my parents had put this thing up on, I think it was Instagram, at Big Dom's gym. And there was someone put something on there, and it was very negative. It was, oh yeah, that he got done by so and so's firm done him, and it's quite. And my mate got the right out. I said, but what are you getting up for? I said, because it's true.
I've got no problem with people. If I've done something and I can go, well, yeah, I can't remember. I remember a cab driver putting a thing up once about how I was a bit rude to something that happened, and it's like, man, I can remember, I knew exactly who it was and exactly what it was about. And when my mate said to me, he's gone, well, he's out of order, I said, but it happened, mate. I've got no problem with that. What am I going to see and say it didn't happen, or, you know, oh, I wasn't like that, because I I'll become a bit of an arsehole. And it was the fact that, you know, you couldn't talk to me back then. I was so focused about just doing things my own way. But then I don't know, again, same with Bella come along and it just changed, and, you know, it's like fun. I could go out in the garden and smell the grass and see the sunshine and feel the rain and see the clouds. But it's very true though, it's, you know, even when I started going back to work, I was very lucky. I've worked with loads of good companies, like back in the Top Guard. I worked with Steve Egg from Headline, that was a good company. And I worked with Ian McAllister from Birmingham, Man Security, great company. You know, and I was very fortunate. You know, I went everywhere. I've been all around. I used to do the boxing, get on a plane, we'd fly here, fly there, fly. You know, every weekend I'd be flying somewhere, and it was great. You know, but in some ways, you know, you have enough of it, don't you? It's what they say. Well, you can't have enough of a good thing, but you can sometimes. You know, and it's, you know, I've spent a lot of time away from my family, and I think that played a big part in whatever happened between me and Nick. But they're going, that's that, and, you know, this is now, isn't it? So we've just got to try and make the best of a bad situation in some ways. But yeah, we're looking, getting back, looking to do another book, hopefully. You never know, you know, someone might pick up on, could be a documentary there. I mean, I'm very lucky. I've got a really good pal, my pal called Terry Stone, and they're just making a film at the moment called Rise of the Foot Soldiers, I think, 5. Good pal of mine is Terry's friend Terry Hill. Thanks, Terry, for look, my boss T-shirt got me for my birthday. Like Terry Hill is a good man, and they're doing this film, and Nick Nevin is producing it. So good faces, you know. It's going to be a good film, and out of all them lot, and I was quite fortunate. And I didn't know I'm done well. You know, I wouldn't say like, well, you know, everyone jumps in the bandwagon about the written and free. But yeah, I was fortunate enough to meet Tony. To me, he was all right. Never caused me no harm. I think I met Tatey a couple of times and didn't really know the other geezer. But just saying, you know, if I could, you know, they might be able to speak to some of them boys and might put us in the right line. You never know, could be something there, you know. But I'm not. It's not over yet, though, is it? So how do I end the ride? You know, when you know, this guy on something nice. You know, I don't want to get shot in the back of a fucking Range Rover. That's all I mean. I used to have a smart car. That's all I'm. Smart car, but no, it's again, it's like, well, good luck to them. But to say, the production that films in South End at the moment, they're working so hard. I mean, I watch every night on his Instagram thing. I think it's going to be the best one so far. I mean, you've got a good cast in there. So it'll be interesting to see it comes out. But again, I was talking to Jamie today. He's putting us in the right direction. It could be at least a documentary or something. But that's when we have to go back a little bit and be a bit more honest about certain things that have gone on. Like, you know, if you probably, you know, and I'll be having a good talk tonight, and you probably ain't got a word in edgeways. But what it is, I'm trying to go around the violence. You know what I'm saying? I'm fed up talking about violence because, you know, I'm 50 years old now. I've had my fair share. My hands will definitely not be doing washing up liquid adverts. You know what I mean? Like the state of my hands, and it's like, you know, I said earlier, I've got face maker radio. So it's, I don't know. We just want to try and, you know, it'd be nice. You know, it'd be nice to have an happy ending somewhere. You know, as people say, well, what do you get? Only if I can say, all I want, you know, done about you. All I want to be is happy. That's what I want now. You know, I've done it. You know, I think it does. I've got to talk to them and make beat today actually, and they said like your bucket list. What's on your bucket list? What have you got on your bucket list, Jack? He said, what do you want to do, mate, before you go? Do you know what you want to do before you go, Jack? Anything?
I don't know. I mean, I'm a writer, so probably just create things that people connect with.
Also, would like to do? I mean, for me, I want to go. I want to see things. I want to go to Australia. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to, because it seems every day, like time's ticking away, ain't it? It's like, but it makes you. I've never been one of the people that have been. Listen, I'm very lucky in some ways. I remember Ed Robinson, he works for Sky. Don't know if you know him, but he's a good commentator. He's a good little fighter. He said to me when I first, he said, "Dominic, I've got a book written about you. How many people do you know have had a book written about it?" Now I've got two. I know that people think they're silly documentaries. I've been in half a dozen documentaries. And I'm thinking, well, for somebody that's going to be a no-mark, as it like, I think I've done all right in ways. They're not perhaps books that certain people want to read. I'll tell you something, 99% of my books are the truth. If you want me, I'll tell you a load of bollocks if I want it. I mean, if I went down the road and got my machine gun out, didn't I? Killed 20 people there. But no, because, liars ain't worth a wank, are they? Because, you only lie to yourself. And it's just it's a different world I live in now. I go to work every day. I'm quite happy going, and that's since the last year or so, since I was a kid. This last year and a half is the first time I ever go to work every day. I've got like a bit of structure where I go to work, and it's great. I ain't got to worry about. I get paid every week. Going with the boxing, it's always worrying about sponsors. I mean, we were so gifted. We had two fellas. We had Peter Fairs and Albie Turner. Albie Turner's a great accountant. Peter Fair's got a great little nightclub called The Vault, and they were sponsoring us. We were doing so well, you know what I mean? It was like money. I'm not saying money was never a problem, but when I was training the boys, you didn't have to worry because I knew every month we sponsorship money there, and we always the deal I had with my boys, we split the sponsorship money 50-50 because I'd go and get the sponsors, and they did. It was great, worked out great, so I could do all the training we wanted to do. I mean, we were so lucky. I mean. One week of the month we go to Ricky Hatton's been great. Again, you mentioned before, Mike Jackson's here, my family, brilliant. Sparring was great. Then another week we go to Amir Khan's thing in Bolton with Joe Gallagher. Then we sparring with little Paul Butler and Mr. Butler, his dad. I've become really close to him. I've got to say, Joe Gallagher's probably one of the best trainers I've ever seen. He's a bit like Marmite with some people. You either like him or you don't. I mean, then we come down here and we've been mingling with the likes of Alan Smith and Mark Tibbs and Jimmy Tibbs' son, all these different trainers. And it was like we were living the dream, It was for me as a trainer. I mean, I was never, I'd never say I was a good trainer, but I was willing to learn. See, that's all I wanted to go. I was like, I'll go and pick everybody's brains. I like that. Well, don't like that. We keep to that. We used to go like the track stuff we do in the morning. It was amazing. I'll tell you one thing, there's this track my morning, and I've got this boy Jones Jr., Sanjay Sahota, I think Hamza Shiraz was there, I can't remember, I think there's about 4 or 5 of them there. Anyway, so next minute, big group of fellas turn up, I'm looking over there, I thought, I recognise that guy, So boys, we've got doing this track session, so we went to everything they've been on track, everything, and they all written down, seconds, rest, this and that. This guy, big black geezer comes over, American. How long you got, mate? I said, what do you mean, how long have I got? He goes, how long because you want to use the track? I said, well, you've got to wait, mate. Well, you can join in and use the track because it was an open track, anybody could use it. He goes, well, you want to use the track? I said, I'm not being rude, I don't give a fuck. I said, I'll pay my money. It's only Floyd Mayweather with Deontay Davis waiting to use the track. And that Deontay Davis, what a lovely fella. But that Floyd was really funny. And I said, "Buddy, come over." I'm one of the people, you could, I don't know, I could be quite nonchalant sometimes. I knew exactly what I was. Don't know what to do, mate. And the boys go, "Oh, it's Floyd Mayweather." I said, "Don't worry about that. Do your warm down." So one of the lads tried to have a picture with him without asking. He went mad. He's going, "Well, you didn't even ask. You didn't." I said, "Mate, don't be like that." But it was just funny because he got funny with us because then when we said they were on the same bill, because I think it's when he boxed. I think it was that Giovanni Davis boxed one of the Wolves lads out of Norwich, and they were on the same bill. And it was funny, like they were, it was right after that. But it was just funny, like we were quite lucky. We trained everywhere, like Spain with Kiko Martinez, world champion. It was like we were quite lucky. Like we had Martin Patrick, and his dad was out there. we had some such good times. You know, the boxing has only ever been good to me, and it just, you know, going with all the fighters, I've been quite lucky to have met. And I've sparred with loads of people, like, you know, world champions, things like that. You know, and it's, you know, and they all seem to be like friends for life now. You know what I'm saying? That boxing was it's a very fickle sport. Am I glad yeah, I'm glad I'm away from it. Perhaps I should have done it years ago. Perhaps if I concentrate on other things, I wouldn't be on my own. Do you know what I'm saying? I should have concentrated. But there's me thinking, but there's always tomorrow. We've got tomorrow. I don't have to do that because we've got tomorrow. Don't do it. But what they say, I always remember Tony Simpson said when he boxed Marvin Hagler. I said he was going, I'll do this tomorrow. Do you know what? Tomorrow never come. And that's how it happened with me. I got so focused on everything else. I took the thing off the pulse and everyone get involved. I lost out. Everybody's doing their own thing. You know, everybody's got on with their lives, and then that's all I had to regroup and go back again. You know, and it's, you know, was it Leo Sayer, one man band? Nobody knows or understands. I'm a one man band. But it's yeah, I mean it's. But now again, Jamie. I spoke to Joe again. I thought sorry to Jamie because he put so much time and effort into me. I basically just disappeared. You couldn't get hold of me, and it was like all of a sudden it's. I phoned him the other day and said, "Look, great, okay. You know, so I've got these couple of interviews. Listen, I don't know what's around the corner, do I? But if I can sort something out, I mean, if they're making films and videos about all these other people, then, you know, why not me? You know, there might be some story out there we can fish some bones out of. You know, but I just want to have people, you know, I'll run off with my new husband. I mean my wife, you know. It's just, you know, just funny how life is, though, isn't it?
It is. So what do you say to those that say that you can't change?
Listen, no, I can change. I've got no problem there. But listen, you know, one thing I've got to say, it's very true. Leopard never changes its spots, only fade away. And it's saying, what we said earlier, it's like, you back me in the corner, I'm going to come out fighting, ain't I? That's what I do, and I'm never going to be any different. But you know, it's just nice now. And I can sit there again. I can walk in places now. People actually come to see me, and that's quite nice. And one thing I've learned to be a little bit humble now, where sometimes I've seen people I haven't seen for a long time, and I've actually sat there and I've had to say sorry, whatever I've done. But it's again, it's the life I've led, and again, I didn't have no problem about it. Again, you know, we go back to what happened. I didn't. Well, that was not a problem. You never see me whine about the fact I got served up. Again, I've said it a couple of times already. I deserved it. So you can't expect to lead the life I was leading and not to get a kick in the bollocks once in a while, because that's the name of the game we're in, isn't it? You know, again, I say to people, look, leave me alone. I'll leave them alone. So I don't try not to get involved in anybody's business personally, because it's not my problem, you know. And it's when the people do phone me up, they go, you know, and I'm saying, what do you want? What do you want out of me? You know, and it's hard because it's the amount of people there who do phone me. It's very rare. I'm very lucky. Some people will phone up and go, hello, Dom, how are you? Or, it's nice when they do that because I've got nothing to give you. I've got nothing except for my loyalty. I'm very loyal, but I think that's just comes with part and parcel of life, though, doesn't it? So, but I've had to learn the hard way with that one. So have you, Jack. So it's the way it is.
Yeah. So what would you say to any younger person that is looking to go down the same roads as you did?
What, the dark road, if you want, don't do it. So listen, listen, I mean, so I work down this hostel, right? And it's, you know, it's in the middle of Hackney. There's lots of things going on. You see whatever they're getting up to. You know, and I seem to have got quite a good relationship with a few of them out there. And I speak to one of the lads, a really, really nice lad, you know. And I say to him, what are you doing with your life, mate? And he said, I want to do this, I want to do. I said, but mate, what you do, you're going to end up dead or in prison. And it scares me because he's a good lad. You know, these ain't idiots out there. These are clever boys. They're cleverer than me. I said, how old are you? He goes, I think he's about 24. I said, so I'm 26 years older than you. I said, I'm only telling you because I know where you're going to end up. And it's like, you know, you try. I would never tell them anything because they're not going to take it, you know. But you try and just give a bit of advice, and And I'm only telling you because I know where I've gone wrong. You know, what should I have done? You know, should I have stayed being that spy as a kid? Well, not really, because I know I always wanted to do the boxing, I always wanted to fight. And it's like, you know, again, as we going back to the regrets again, I should have kept away from certain things and concentrated on the boxing, not got involved in anything else. But it's like, you know, you say to the lads there, like, what advice do I give them? Go and get a job. Go and look for something like with financial stability, which is easier said than done. And if I left school now with the credentials I had, I wouldn't be at work at McDonald's. You know, I mean, well, unless you want a Big Mac and chips, you know, and come them out of the job. But it's, you know, it's just a mad old world out there, and it's, I don't know. I think perhaps I'm just getting too old for it. That's all. But we just leave it up to the youngsters, I think. But, you know. What do I say to that?
Certainly a younger man's game, I think. But it's not the same as it was when we were kids.
But the kids nowadays, they're just as they stab you. They're not, you know, they're not interested in, I don't know, these like, all this stabbing like, I just can't get my head around that. It's like, what's that about? You know, I suppose that's where realistic, that's where I'm a bit of a Neanderthal, because we got, you know, well, don't get me wrong, of course we had knives when we were bats, knives, you know, of course guns and stuff like that. But I was a bit like John Wayne. I was the quickest on the draw. You know, and it's, you know, don't get me wrong, you know, I know what it's like to be poked a little bit and, you know, being a bit of wood and all that. Again, I don't want to go down that road tonight, but it has changed because there's no second chances out there nowadays. These kids, as soon as you look at them, they pull out knives bigger than themselves. Don't know what they're doing. I'm not saying, you know, I was an expert with a knife or whatever. I don't mean it like that, but you know, you see this stuff on like the YouTube stuff you see on people on their phones, and one's got their dead on the floor dead, and it's like, what for though? I don't get it. These are kids. Like we sound like old farts here, but my dad would say, "You watch too many video games." Do they know the damage they do to? I mean, obviously the other person involved, but their own families themselves, and it's, you know, it's soul destroying. The amount of kids that are getting banged up is for nothing. You know, like all this. You didn't show me any respect. You know, don't get me wrong, we were like that back in the day. You know, we walked in somewhere, and I was running people back then. It was like, you know, you bring your big boy, and then they'd bring that, and I had to be their boy, and it'd be your life. You go, you have your little sector, and then things are sorted out that way. It was like, you know, it was just a funny life back then. It was like, you know, I was more than willing to try and show the people how tough I was, because I think that just stemmed from being bullied as a kid, and you know, I wanted to have of course I wanted to have this reputation as an art man for being, you know. I mean, it's like funny when you look at these books now, like bastards, yeah, come on. Listen, there's probably a lot more art people than me out there. I know there's probably a lot more nastier people, because believe it or not, don't get me wrong, we had to go to battle and they say it was, but then there's people got no morals nowadays, you know. I mean, it's like, you know, it's like, because, you know, you did what you had to do back then. But I don't know, it just seems a nasty old world we live in now, you know. And it's, you know, and there's no second place out there, is there? So, you know, just you better just keeping out of everything. Trying on, yeah, that's what someone like. When I work at the shop, when I walk out that door, I don't think about it. Do not think about it. You know, I mean, I look after a house at night time. That's a different job altogether. You know, it's that small one. You've got to be on your toes a little bit more, because it's, you know, it is what it is, and it's, you know, again, it's like this. I walk in this hospital in the morning, have a cup of coffee, see everybody, and you just don't know what's going to happen from 1 minute to the next day. I mean, you get a lot of people in there from homeless. Mental health problems, cases, prison. The ones that seem to come from prison, they're sweet, because we're on the same level. Okay, you can't tell me nothing, or I can't tell you nothing. So, you know, the one thing I just try and do, I just try and treat everybody with the respect I want. So it's like, you know, you treat someone like a bit of shit, because they don't care who I am. You know, where I work, they don't care. So it's no good me going, oh, I'm trying to say, who the fuck are you? So you just try and treat people nicely, And to be, I think I do get the point across sometimes. We don't have too much grief in there. We have a little bit of shouting and screaming sometimes, but it's like, that's all we've got to put up with, then I'm quite happy. So, but it's a different job. I said, like, my friend would have had been there 15 years ago, or did not have the temperament then. It's difficult, but I can see to be out there. I can, as you can tell tonight, I can talk a little bit. Just trying to do the right thing. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as if we can have straighteners anymore. People don't have straighteners anymore. They just...
Well, that's what I'm saying. If there was anything like that, if I'm going to do it, I'll be like hit and run. I'll do my work and get out, and I wouldn't be sitting here admiring the view because you don't know where it's coming from nowadays. Don't you? So if I always listen, one thing I've been gifted with, I know I can whack, and always have been lucky in that department. So if there was going to be anything, I wouldn't be sitting there going, "Oh yeah, I'll be in the car and I'll be driving." Don't get me wrong, if I could drive home anyway, I would, because as we know nowadays, there's so much CCTV around that as soon as you do something, you're bank the rights anyway, and that's again. Prison ain't the first place I want to go on holidays. It's I can think of other things. Perhaps Canvey Island sounds nice, I mean, or Bognor. Bognor could do it for me.
No wrong with Bognor.
Not wrong.
No wrong. I don't know. I think we're probably coming towards the end of the interview, really. But
did I mention you? I've got these 2 books out.
Yeah. You want to tell people about your books?
This one, look, Out the Shadows. This came out about 10 years ago. That came out, and then this me. I just won there. Was it British Title Eliminator against Chris Willis? Good fight, nice fighter, nice lad. And then this one, Into the Light, which has just come out about a year and a half ago. Obviously, look Bella at the back, and then me looking like I've just done a bank robbery with a stocking on my head. Lovely. Yeah, they can still get these. If you want to hear more, how can I put it, in-depth tales about certain things, they're probably the books for you. And that's Out the Shallows, and that's by Owen Sutton, Into the Light by Jamie Bob. That's quite different. It's I'm being honest with you, it's just basically where I fucked a lot of things up, really. Like my relationship with Nick. I pay the price for that every day. And I just tend to fuck a lot of things up, but that tends to be my middle name. Dominic Fuck Up Negus, you know what I mean? So, but no, he's quite honest. I'll try and be as honest as I can. Again, sorry if I bored people at night, dribbling on, but I don't want to be talking about, I'm fed up talking about violence. It ain't me anymore. It's like when I sit there and I go to work and everyone loves a battle story. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I've had people sitting at tables and they're like, "Oh my God." But then you think afterwards, I always remember we went out for dinner once, me, Nick, and some old friends of mine from Tenerife. And she was so true. We sat there, we had a lovely meal, talk stories. We got in the car and it was a bit funny with me. I said, "What's the matter, darling?" She goes, "Do you know what's so sad? You tell these lovely stories, about, we were in wherever it was, Tenerife, Spain. And then somewhere along the line, someone gets knocked out. And he goes, and it's the first time ever I thought, pretty sad, really, ain't it? And it is. The fact that you go, I've been all around the world, and I've been Vegas, not people out Vegas. I've been to New York, not people out New York. Chicago. Well, no, Chicago's the only place I haven't actually been, not Thailand. And it is everywhere I've gone because I couldn't have the attitude to perhaps have an argument with people. A good friend of mine called John, and I'm saying John Croney, I met a good old school friend of mine. We went to and I'll tell you a little one there. We went to a restaurant one night, and my brother was there, his wife, all of us, and we had a bit of a conflict with some people inside. I waited for him to go outside. Got stuck in. My brother come out, my mate John. I upset the whole evening basically. So, we've come back, finished on these 3 winning. Whatever he done, we went back, finished our meal. And I always went, I used to get pretty upset. He weren't just like people, I think I might he used to really convert me for days. But I just remember me and my mate John, we're walking back, and my mate Gary says it to me, Gary Bedford, if you're listening, and they go, "Dom, what are you worried about? He goes, I wouldn't argue with people if I had half as good as left hook as you did, because I'd be knocking everybody out. And it was seen such a, again, as I say, and I promise you, anybody, there's a little bit more to me than people ever realise. You know, again, I'm lucky, again, we went to Ibiza. My mate, we went out there, there was Henry, Danny, John, James, Master Bristow, and King Bristow, and Henry. And I sat there telling all these stories all weekend. It was all about these stories. I could have told you a million others. And it is a shame, you know, because when I sit there and I do say to them, especially like again, I mentioned Henry and people like that, but like Martin Bristow, it's so fun. And I said, Martin, my day, it's such a shame, and that's all people think I'm about. Perhaps it's my fault because it's why I tell people. But one thing I like is the fact that certain people have seen a difference. And believe me, like Jamie put a thing up yesterday, I am very complex, believe it or not. I'm not as simple as what people think I can be like a dice, because it depends what you roll me, it depends what version you're getting. And it is hard, because in what I find, there's no happy medium with me, you know, which I miss. It seems I've got this big hole in me, and it's a hole of, you know, I've had it for ages now, and it ain't nice. I get up in the morning sometimes and I go to work, even now I force myself to go to work, because I've got to do it, and all I do, I sit and I think about Bella. That's not going to work, because that's what we have to do. I can't sit my arse and go do nothing, because that time's gone, you know, and it's just a shame how. You know, I thought, yeah, of course, I thought life was going to be different, you know. Again, it's my own fault, and I have to pay the price for that. But, you know, it could be a lot worse. I'm a lot better off than I was again at the beginning of the story 18 months ago. Yeah, you know, I'm in a better place than I was, and I'm hoping things can only get better. So, you know, it's down to hard work and putting the hours in there. No one's going to knock me on that. So, but, you know, I think, you know, I don't know. I don't know what else I can say, mate.
I just want to thank you for being sort of open and honest and agreeing to do this. You know, it's really opened my eyes. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's right, mate. I mean, I hope it wasn't boring, because it's like a lot of people think, yeah, I'm going to say this, and you know, but I'm just fed up talking about that kind of thing now. And again, I just like to say, I've got to thank my friends out there, especially again for Bryn and Emery. Without them, I wouldn't have been. And I've got like Nicky Theo. He's one up. He'll be a good interview for you in the near future. I'll do something.
Try and make it happen.
I'll pass your number. You know, there's so many like friends I've got out there, and I don't want to start naming names because people get down to the youngsters. But again, like I mean, you know, again, Kevin Mitchell, these people come from nowhere when I wasn't expecting. And where I've known people for so long, and don't wrong, I'm like Jack Shepherd, like these are good people, like Mark Wilson, again, Ian Wilson. I'm not going to Gary Bedford, I could sit and rattle off like hundreds of names. But it's just hard, because, as you know, it doesn't matter what you're going through. I mean, you could go and just bad patch, and they could be your best mates, and they could be telling you that's white over there, but you can't, as far as you're concerned, it's black. You can't see any different. I'm just saying, when it comes to my friends, I think at the moment I'm very gifted, and I'm so very grateful, and I'm very grateful. You know, thanks for your time, and again, I didn't bore too many people. Again, you know, again, if you want to hear the glory stories, buy them in the book. You know, so if not, make really nice toilet roll. You know what I mean?
Did I mention? I've got a book.
Lovely, mate. Lovely. Well, you have to get me a copy of something, yeah?
Yeah, we'll get you a copy over. A Personal Apocalypse, The Poetic Remnants of a Troubled Man. I come from a similar background to Dom. Started into the boxing as he did. And I put this out and another one out called Between the Streetlights and Red Lights. And they're both with Warcry Press, so it's the same printing label as Dom.
I've got to say to my friend Andy, he made the best lamb tonight. Andy Moles, Mr. Moles, Bazza, and you. We'll all meet up soon. Once this covert thing's done, I mean, this is put a right spoke in for everybody. It's like with Jamie, I was going to try and surprise him, but going to see him, but obviously I can't, because this covert thing, there's loads of things. It's just that everybody out there keep safe. I mean, you know, certainly my brother out there, he ain't too well at the moment, but he's battling through. So, you know, we can wonder ourselves here with him, so we'll meet again. But, you know, it's a load of old bollocks really, ain't it? Because we just got a power through and so nothing. You know, what we're going to do, sit indoors all day and do nothing. It's, you know, it's just the way forward now, ain't it? So let's go. You know, let's go. Let's rock and roll. So,
Brilliant.
is that okay?
That's brilliant. I've really enjoyed it. I hope people have really enjoyed it too. Feel free to leave comments down in the comment box. Just go up.
An old man very happy.
Yeah, it made me very happy.
There's young women out there, you know.
Can we find Dominic dates?
In the mornings. So, you know, but listen, again, it's so, I mean, it's like there's so many people I'd like to thank. This mate Brad, bloody hell, oh, bloody everybody out there. That, you know what, your mind goes blank, doesn't it? I've just seen them all, their little faces are popping up here, you know what I mean? It's good people. And it's, you know, on my birthday, I went up to Birmingham for a few days, and it's all the old lot, my mate Tank was there, Alex. I can bloody, I can see you now, he's got a beard, buddy, you know, you just put your face on. So I've forgotten your bloody name there, see, but it's just, you know, I'm very gifted. I've got all my friends all around the country, so I'm very lucky there. So friends all around the world, so it's good, So, but I think the reputation precedes me sometimes, but it is what it is. All right.
Thank you, brother. I'll speak to you again soon.
We will do, mate, we will do. And Russell, don't get breakfast. You're a great interview, Jeds. That's what I like to say. That's what you like to say. So, all right, and it is my turn, by the way, Russ. Yeah, just everybody keep safe. Let's get this corona business sorted out. And, oh, look, there it is, the Isaac. That's what I see. Isaac, no, he is a catch. That's what I'm saying. All right, mate. All right, listen, everyone, take care. God bless and love you all, yeah? Speak to you soon. Bye, mate. Bye.
Love you, mate. Bye. Just want to thank everybody for coming on here and supporting this interview. I want to apologise for the technical issues towards the end. That can't be helped. I just thank you everybody for the support and thanks Dom for being so open, honest and frank about your life. You know, and not going into the bits that everybody's heard before. So I'm just going to sign off now. Yeah, cheers, William. And cheers, everybody, for all the positive comments that we've had. We've had some nice numbers in here tonight. So, yeah, I shall see you again on episode 3. And we'll see what we can do. All right. Cheers, guys.